In this lecture or discussion rather, we'll try to understand the concept of culture, including the changes that it has undergone in the course of the 20th century, especially. The etymological meaning of culture is related to cultivation, which implies some kind of a sophistication. Now, it may look paradoxical because, again, in traditional definition of culture, cultivation unfortunately is not seen as a kind of a cultural activity as such. But we have to look at the root. This is cultivation. When you cultivate something, the soil becomes refined from traditional soil, so that uncultivated soil, so that good crops may grow. From that idea, you know, we have taken the term culture or kultur as is the original word in the Germanic language. So it is related to a person's refinement. The more a person has been plowed in a way by books, by literature, by music, the more cultured he becomes. So it is premised on a certain kind of education. Not all educations were treated as cultural education. For example, mechanical skills, these and these are education but not cultural. So it was a predominantly literary culture that was associated with this idea of culture. In fact, even if we look at the alternative or rather relatable terms from Indian languages, two words that are often seen as translations of culture are Sanskriti or Sanskriti and Krishti. Both are again related to this idea of refinement. Samskriti from the word samskar, which means actually refinement. Okay, reformation, refinement, samskar. Though the popular meaning is values, but the root meaning of samskar is refinement from that Sanskriti. And then Krishti again from Krish, to cultivate, to plow, from that root. So you must be a cultivated person. At one point of time, in archaic English, there was an expression like cultivating a person, which implied actually to know that person also. Anyway, so we have understood that culture in the traditional sense comes from the idea of cultivation or refinement of a refined soil. So a refined person who has an exposure to great literature, great classics. uh, Reading any magazine on the street is not an act of culture, but reading, say Shakespeare or Goethe, for example, is an examination. An example of culture. So in Indian traditions, we may say reading Tagore, Sharat Chandra, say Premchand, or Lakshminath Bejbarua. So these are acts of culture, and actually, reading a newspaper or just a magazine, these are not indicative of culture. So this is the traditional understanding, and this is the understanding that most people till date have, at least in India. So by culture we mean some refined activity which is not only refined. Now I'm coming to the second point, which is usually thought to be handed down from the past. So Bharatnatyam, Odissi, or even Tagore, Nazrul, etc. So these are Vaishnavite Padavali in case of Bangla, Brajavali literature, Bangla, Assamese. So these are all thought to be parts of Bengali, Assamese, or Hindi culture. They are mostly handed down from the past. So refinement and tradition, these have been hallmarks of culture. Now, this was the idea of culture that Arnold promoted in Culture and Anarchy, in his study of poetry, whatever is best known and thought. And this is the idea of culture that was perpetuated by F.R. Lewis, who is the single most important person who have been instrumental in founding the English department's core values across the world. So an imaginative past recreated through literature, which is supposed to represent the best human values in a given society. So these are indicative of that society's culture and tradition, etc. Sometimes we call cultural traditions. That was the thing. But problems started with the joining of Raymond Williams in Cambridge, who was F.R. Lewis's student, but he often took strong exceptions to Lewis's idea of culture as an elitist activity. Raymond Williams defined culture against Lewis or Arnold's idea of a select, refined, elitist culture as a whole way of life. For Raymond Williams, everything, from science, technology, how one eats, given set of parameters within which a particular society operates is culture, and not only the so-called great or traditional things that Arnold or Lewis called culture. So there is a clear difference between culture as a select tradition of things which represent supposedly the highest values of a given society, and then culture understood as all encompassing as a whole way of life. The later one is Raymond Williams' idea, which actually became the foundation stone or cornerstone of the emergence of the new discipline called cultural studies. So we have to keep in mind these two ideas of culture and not conflate between the two. The greater sympathies of English departments today lie with the second definition of culture, that is Williams' definition. Culture is a whole way of life. So that is why it is said that English departments are gradually becoming departments of cultural studies. You can study music, you can study art, you can study advertisement. Music means popular music, not classical music, which was in any case part of culture. So now popular music also a part of culture as per Williams, and cultural studies. Advertisements are also part of culture. Magazine, newspaper, these are also part of culture. So this is a holistic definition of culture. However, as I said earlier, the weight of the traditional definition is not all lost. In fact, it runs quite strongly outside the English departments, at least in India. Still, common people by and large understands a certain kind of elite and select, primarily literary culture by the term culture. We'll elaborate more on Raymond Williams' idea of culture in our next discussion. Thank you.